my name is Dr. Kim Hong, and I practice in New Orleans, Louisiana. Thank you again, ChiroSecure, for giving me this stage to be able to communicate with my fellow chiropractic colleagues. Today, I'd like to talk to you guys about when should we ask for help. I've been practicing for about 20 years. 15 of those are in private practice. And when I first started my private practice, I did not think that I needed a coach. And so I pretty much did everything on my own, kind of learned as I went through, just checks and balances, what insurance, no insurance, how to develop a plan for patients, things of that nature. And I thought that I had been doing pretty well. I'd grown every year for probably about, I don't know, maybe 5 or 7 years. And then something personal happened to me. I went through a divorce, and I never thought that my practice would feel any impact. But apparently it did. And my stats went down about 20%. And I didn't see that until probably the following year. And that's when I reached out to Master Circle Global, my friend now and also mentor and coach, Dr. Bob Hoffman, has helped me out tremendously. But I think that before in choosing the person to be able, or the company to be able to help you, some of the questions that I would ask is, who would qualify to be able to help me? How would I know what kind of questions should I ask him? Who should I not listen to? In my practice, we see a lot of Spanish speaking and also Vietnamese patients. And in doing so, I didn't know if I should communicate with someone in those I guess neighborhood or ethnicity to be able to help me maybe grow into those regions. But in any event, I did reach out to Dr. Bob Hoffman, and I'd like to welcome him as my guest today. And we're going to have a little bit of questions and answer, and share with you my experience and what it's been able to do for me, both professionally and also personally. So I'd like to welcome Dr. Bob Hoffman.
Thank you, Kim. It's really a pleasure to be here with you. I am so enormously proud of you and what you keep accomplishing.
Thank you. Thank you. So I think that initially, whenever I was searching for some sort of help, I remember reaching out to you, and you gave me a questionnaire, and each practice is not going to be the same cookie cutter. Can you elaborate a little bit as far as the process that your clients would go through at the beginning?
Absolutely. You know, we are an identity-based company and have been for decades. It's part of the secret of our success. And we ask every new client, just like you, Kim, to fill out a very detailed report. We call it our practice evaluation identity-based questionnaire, because we need to learn everything about you. You know, one of the things I say to new clients is the more I know, the faster I can help you grow. But it's also an act of self-discovery on your part. And I think that this is critical, because after going through this detailed report and then probably spending as much as an hour asking questions, getting clarification, digging even deeper, we then put together a customized coaching curriculum specifically for your needs. This is the furthest thing possible from a cookie cutter approach. You know, everyone in practice has different personalities, different backgrounds, different strengths, different weaker areas, and have different needs. Their practice is at a different place than other colleagues, and they have different goals. And our job is to put all of that together and figure out, how do we get you from where you are currently to where you want to go? Not where I want you to go, but to where you want to go. How do we create a GPS system, so to speak, on helping you accomplish what you want?
Right. And I remember at the beginning, I thought it was a little overwhelming because you were asking me for pretty much everything, all of my stats to, how many patient visits am I seeing? How many hours am I working a week or a day? But I would tell you that after submitting that in, it was really something that changed the way that I saw in terms of practicing. And I felt that at the beginning, I you listened to my needs as far as where I wanted to grow, but that wasn't just it. I think that it helped me be a better leader, and also be able to be more connected to my patients as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And, we dig deep because we want to know how you think. We want to know what your goals are, as I said. We want to know how you practice. We want to know what's important to you so that we can customize. Now, also part of our success, Kim, as you could attest, is we meet with you every single week, and there is a sense of accountability. And we leave with some purpose and direction for the upcoming week. And then the following week, you report back to us. And every single month, we ask for your statistics so we could see how the practice is doing. Sometimes you're aware of it, and sometimes you might not really be completely aware of it. And it really helps us manage and guide and direct you on where to focus your time and your talent and energy to grow your practice. And honestly, Kim, I think this is a really critical distinction because you asked the question, who should you listen to? Well, I'm going to urge the people watching this not to listen to a friend or a relative who has all of the best of intentions, but doesn't have the experience or even know what questions to ask. Or maybe they are super successful in practice themselves and they erroneously think that the key to your success is for you to do exactly what they've done, which is rarely the case because you're a different person with different skills,
Yeah,
different personality. So, who should you ask and who should you reach out to for advice? You should always reach out to someone who has extensive experience. You know, I've been coaching
absolutely.
thousands. I've been coaching thousands of chiropractors, graduates of every chiropractic school, every chiropractic technique, every personality, every size practice imaginable for over 20 years. My partner has been doing it for 30 years. And between the two of us, we've been chiropractors for over 85 years. There's such extensive experience that there isn't a question that could possibly come up that we haven't heard and addressed 100 times, if not 1,000.
Right. I think that sometimes as we are practicing it in our private practice, we tend to think that we know everything, right? Because it stops at you. You are the boss, and you are the doctor. I would tell you that sometimes it becomes a little stagnant, and you kind of go in autopilot. And I love being able to communicate and mastermind with Bob on our weekly call, but also the seminars that we go to. It's amazing. We have some of the best doctors in the world that we rub shoulders with, that we're able to ask them how do they practice, and I feel very blessed in my practice in New Orleans. I feel that we are like no other chiropractic offices. We have a lot of different things that we've learned from seminars that we've been able to implement here. And it's I love the basics of chiropractic, but technology has come so far, and to be able to utilize that, but also asking Bob, well, how do the other doctors do it? The other doctors, who are successful, and because Bob speaks to so many different doctors of so many different, I guess, practices, and he's able to give me the feedback that he's able to see firsthand.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. You know, not because I'm any smarter than you or any better than you, Kim, but because of the seat I sit in, speaking to hundreds of chiropractors every month, speaking to them week after week after week, and seeing how they grow, giving them recommendations, and then hearing how well it worked, is I get to discover rather quickly by just paying attention what's in best in class today. And
Mhm.
clearly, in my opinion, the biggest problem in chiropractic today isn't the politics. it isn't all the craziness. The biggest problem in practice today is the failure to adapt. So the bottom line for me is my job is to get you to adapt your thinking and your behaviors, to get you to adapt how you practice, not by blowing up your practice, but by slightly modifying, refining some of the things you think and do. You know, you mentioned before that one of the problems, one of the points of friction was the fact that, you know, as the owner of your practice, you think you know everything. Well, you certainly have the best of intentions, but you are practicing in a Groundhog Day environment where every day is just like the other day. But another point of friction is you think your practice is different than every other practice, and it isn't. You know, business skill is business skill, and communication skill is communication skill, and healing is healing, and innovation is innovation. So it's important that you don't need a coach who has your personality or graduated
Yeah.
from your school. You don't need a coach who, in your case, is Vietnamese or a woman. You need a coach who has experience, who understands what's best in class, what works, what doesn't work, how to grow your leadership, your communication, your business, your healing, your staff management, what to look for, what to focus on in the practice. You know, this is a huge problem in our profession. Some people don't think they need any help. Some are suffering terribly. Some are crushing it, but they don't know how to get to the next level. And they're so stressed out and they're so unhealthy crushing it. And that's not necessary. So the bottom line is, first question is, who should I ask for help? Well, somebody who's got a lot of experience. And you know, one of the other questions you brought up in the very beginning is, what's one of the questions I should ask when I'm interviewing? Well, quite frankly, one of the questions you should ask is, tell me about your experience as a consultant or a coach or a mentor or a guide. How many chiropractors have you helped? What kind of rate of growth do your members or the people you influence, how are they growing? You know, an average member in our program is growing somewhere between 30 and 50% a year on average. And that even happened during COVID last year. So
Yeah.
that's phenomenal in the profession. You have to know that it's not someone like you or someone who graduated like you or someone who practices like you or someone of your same gender or ethnicity. You need to have an expert who has time tested values, that has worked with every kind of chiropractor. That's who you need to have in your corner.
Right. And speaking of adaptation, last year was a definitely different year for every profession. And I remember meeting Bob recently at a seminar, and he said that a lot of doctors' office, their stats have declined, whether it be patients not wanting to come in, you know, whatever the case may be. And he said that a lot of the doctors in Master Circle, they have actually they've actually grown and probably has had their best year. Case in point for myself. And I would tell you that Master Circle, Bob and Dennis has pushed me through so many doctors' office at the time. And chiropractors, we are essential business. And I've seen and heard some of my colleagues shut down. And, you know, it was hard for me to hear that, but we kept just pushing through, modifying and adapting. And that's what got us through, not only through, but grew, you know, to where we were, or to what we had last year. And we're going to continue to grow. But these are some of the little things that I learned uh, being with Master Circle, just adaptation, friction, employee management, how to be able to interact with your patients, present time consciousness. Those little things matter. And on another note, personally wise, Bob has seen me at the time whenever I went through my divorce. It was probably one of the lowest times in my life. And I try not to bleed that through into my office. I'm a generally very happy person, but because of just some personal things that I was going through, I felt, a little bit depressed, had some anxiety, and it showed in my practice. And Bob has helped me indirectly, maybe directly, grown to where I am, not just professionally, but I am the happiest that I've ever been. And I wake up every day. I'm always excited to be here at my office, but I'm excited about life again. And that's just something that I am forever, very grateful and appreciate from my mentor.
Well, thank you, Kim. But that's part of the secret of an identity-based coaching process, because I want you to feel joy and fulfillment from your work. I want you to be highly profitable from your work. I want you to have more balance in your life. I want you to be the happiest version of yourself, the best version of yourself. You know, practices don't grow and then you become happy. It's being happy that helps you grow a practice. That's an identity model. And you're a perfect example of this. Last year, in spite of COVID, in spite of being shut down for weeks, in spite of having seven hurricanes in New Orleans, and in spite of you making multiple trips, you grew your practice by over 40% last year. And it was
Yeah,
super successful. It was a seven-figure practice before last year. It grew substantially. And you are far more the rule in our membership than the exception. The overwhelming majority of our members, almost 90% of our members, are at somewhere between 90 and 200% of where they were a year ago. That's unheard of in our profession. And it's not
yeah,
because Ennis and I are lucky enough to attract all the successful chiropractors. It's because people come into our program and their standards change, their mindset changes, their action changes, their focus changes, their healing capabilities change, their leadership changes, their communication change. They know how to get rid of the points of friction that are slowing them down or blocking them. And it's a universal process that we find works with everybody, regardless of where you graduated or how many years you're in practice, or if you're crushing it or barely hanging on, if you have no staff or a staff of 30, universal truths work everywhere. Now,
yeah,
going back to what you had asked me in the beginning, is the other side of this is who should you never listen to? And who you should never listen to who is someone who knows they know everything but has never helped anybody except they've been successful in their own practice, or worse, thinks they know everything and isn't successful in their own practice. So the reality is we must ask for help. Everybody needs help. Everybody needs to see things from a non-emotional, clear perspective. But who you ask is a critical question in this equation, because if you hire the right person, you change the trajectory of your life and your career on an upward path forever. And if you ask the wrong person, it costs you a lot of money and it stresses you out. So these are really important points, and I'm so happy that you're just doing amazing, not only personally but professionally. I couldn't be more proud of you if it was my full-time job. But we were just together at a live seminar just 3 weeks ago in Orlando. It was high energy, lots of networking. The material being taught was off the charts. Everybody loved it. You loved it. You immediately go back to your practice and you start implementing. And how I know that is because I speak to you 2 or 3 or 4 days later, and my first question is, tell me what you took from the seminar and what you're already working on and what your action steps. And that's
right,
my job to guide you through the process. Knowing what to do and doing what to do are two very different things. It's in the
right.
implementation that it all comes together. And
Absolutely.
I know you've heard me say this, Kim, but one of my favorite quotes is ultra successful people are uncommonly skilled at execution. You're a
Yes.
great implementer, and that's why you're so successful.
Well, thank you, thank you. And a couple closing remarks on my end. But some of the best athletes have coaches. So to be able to have someone to guide you through and make you accountable, I think that's important. Listen, I've gone to a lot of CE classes before, and usually my CE time was to be able to get the hours and get out and go home, and never really made much of it. But going to the seminars that Master Circle does is, you know, you always come home with something that you can that you can implement right away in your office. Bob, can you tell them as far as how they're able to reach you?
Oh, sure. First, you could always email me, bob at themasterscircle.net, bob at themasterscircle.net. You can call me at 800-451-4514. But I also want to just let the people watching this know that we have had literally thousands of people complete a 4-question questionnaire online called the Practice Growth Calculator, that you just put in some information you probably don't even need to look up. You will know off the top of your head, and it immediately shows you how to grow your practice. It's an amazing tool that we put together. We spent years formulating this and getting it into a calculator. You can go online, you could see it right at the bottom of the screen. You know, go to the Practice Growth Calculator, put in your basic information, and then make sure you set up a completely complimentary, no obligation consult either with my partner or myself, where we will interpret what the calculator says and show you specifically and exactly how to tailor make your focus, what you should be focused on to grow your practice rapidly and sustainably in the most ethical and positive ways possible. So yes, you could reach out to me directly, bobthemastercircle.net. I would love to hear from you, and if I can help you in any way, it would be my pleasure. But I would also love you to go to the Practice Growth Calculator and complete that, and then set up your consult.
Great. Thank you so much for being my guest today, Bob.
Well, thank you for having me. And again, I am so proud of you. You're doing amazing.
Thank you. And next week's presenter is Dr. Frank Vault. Please make sure that you stay tuned or tune in, should I say, to next week.